Elder Wang knew that it was bad because the assassin was about to self-immolate with his spiritual energy, which surprised another elder, and he said that if an advanced sacred realm cultivator self-immolated there, the entire city would be destroyed. Elder Wang panicked, and he told everyone to run because the explosion area of the advanced sacred cultivator was far too big, so they would try to block it from above. But to his surprise, he saw that the people below were calm. Master Gu told everyone that there was no need to worry because their Gu family elders were there. A gigantic hand suddenly appeared from the sky, and it caught the assassin off guard as it reached out to him. The assassin was taken aback when he felt that it was at the supreme realm. The gigantic hand captured the assassin and crushed it, containing the explosion within its fist. The smoke from the explosion scattered through a certain area of the sky. One of the elders looked surprised as he asked if what he just witnessed was the Gu family's supreme realm expert. And Elder Wang said that they killed an advanced sacred realm cultivator with a single move, so it was definitely a supreme realm expert. On the other hand, one of the cultivators below was surprised that it was over, wondering if the difference between a supreme realm cultivator and an advanced sacred realm cultivator was that large, and another cultivator responded that it certainly was, and that would not change even for an inheritor of demonic arts. Master Gu sighed as he said that it seemed that they wouldn't be able to get any useful information then. But Wang Zijin told him that even if the assassin was captured alive, she doubted he would have any useful information, considering that they planned to kill her while she was under the Gu family's protection, which only showed how prepared they were, and Master Gu agreed that she was right. Wang Zijin warned Master Gu that he should be more careful because the assassin mentioned that he was one of their targets too. Master Gu was amused when he heard that an inheritor of demonic arts wished to kill him. Elder Wang said that it was all thanks to Master Gu for rescuing Wang Zijin, as he could not imagine what would have happened if he did not make it in time. And Master Gu told him that it was something he should have done as the host, because if the assassin managed to kill Wang Zijin in their home, the Gu family would not be able to answer to the Wang family. Elder Wang remembered mentioning that when they fought with the assassin earlier, they sensed the aura of the Heavenly Emperor's mountain from him, and it was pretty obvious too. While Wang Zijin was thinking about the Heavenly Emperor's mountain, one of the cultivators could not understand how such a thing could be, saying that the Heavenly Emperor's mountain had been part of the Orthodox faction, and another cultivator agreed, wondering if the elders got something wrong. Master Gu said that, to be honest, he sensed it too, not to mention that the assassin's techniques were very similar to those of Yiling, whom he fought before, and it seemed that both of them shared the same origin. He pointed out that with the level of cultivation Yiling had, it was not possible for him to be the assassin's master because, after all, unless one is an extraordinary expert or from a strong sect or faction, they would not be able to instruct an advanced sacred realm cultivator to do something like that. The other cultivators started to wonder if the inheritor of demonic arts could truly be from the Heavenly Emperor's mountain, and they said that it would be terrifying if the Heavenly Emperor's mountain was the mastermind behind it all. Someone raised their hand and said that they could not jump to conclusions like that. It was Master Gu, and he said that all of it seemed too coincidental because if the mastermind behind the incidents were truly the inheritor of demonic arts, he would not expose himself with the Heavenly Mountain's aura in the first place, and the other cultivators agreed, adding that someone could have made them scapegoats. Master Gu asked Wang Zijin what she thought about it as the main victim, while in the back of his mind, he was thinking that reincarnators like to think that they are far above everyone else and live to show off how much they know in front of others. Wang Zijin said that the assassin that attacked her was definitely an inheritor of demonic arts, with a sliver of the true essence of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain's aura on him. And since the perpetrator had the aura and essence of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain on him, even if the Heavenly Emperor Mountain had always been a part of the Orthodox faction, it was natural for everyone to assume that it was them that did it. She pointed out that it was also one of the most problematic areas because if they really believed that the Heavenly Emperor's mountain was made to be a scapegoat and searched for another possible perpetrator, they could be walking right into the mastermind's trap. Feng Fei chimed in, saying that if an assassin had masked their aura in the first place, no one would think of the Heavenly Emperor's mountain. And according to Wang Zijin's analysis, he questioned if they were trying to attract the attention of all factions to them so that they would be in trouble instead. Wang Zijin said that everyone knows that there is not just one inheritor of demonic arts, and due to their activities increasing in frequency, it was hard not to spot them. So since they would end up revealing themselves in the end, their idea was to pretend to be the victim in the first place. She reminded everyone of the saying being able to flee from the arrows of a crossbow, which meant that the closer one was to the source of the situation, the safer they would be. And upon hearing what she said, Master Gu acted surprised, but he was delighted deep inside. Elder Wang pointed out that the enemy had purposely made a formation array, mixing truth with lies. As he told Wang Zijin that she was truly the saintess of the ancestral humanities palace, none of them had thought of things that far or deep. Wang Zijin asked Master Gu what his thoughts were. Master Gu wasn't able to answer immediately, so Wang Zijin called his name with worry. Master Gu immediately agreed, saying that Wang Zijin was truly clever because he had finally understood things a little more after hearing her opinion. Regardless, it was almost impossible for the Heavenly Emperor's Mountain to wash themselves of their suspicions anymore. Yilangshan added that he had actually heard during the feast that the Heavenly Emperor's Mountain's Heavenly Prince had finally made his first appearance. Master Gu was secretly pleased as what Yilangshan said surprised the other cultivators. It was too coincidental, as they questioned why the Heavenly Prince would suddenly make an appearance before the appointed time. They said that they could not believe that they respected the Heavenly Emperor's Mountain that much before. The other cultivators started to worry about what they should do when the appearance of the inheritors of demonic arts would often lead to chaos in the world. The one with the greatest suspicion was the powerful Heavenly Emperor Mountain. One of them said not to worry because the Orthodox faction still had the heir of the ancestral humanities palace, as well as Master Gu, who had the true immortal body. With them leading, they should not be afraid of the inheritors of demonic arts. Another cultivator said that even so, the Heavenly Emperor Mountain was an incredible faction too, not to mention that they were probably agonizing over the fact that they would be under suspicion too. Master Gu was acting troubled when the system notified him that the reputation of the expert whose soul had been exchanged had fallen. So he obtained 3,000 fortune points and 5,000 fate points. Master Gu could not help but smirk while he agreed with everyone. He said that things were troubling. The morning came, and at a palace that was floating in the clouds, a cup shattered and spilled its contents on the floor. It was Chu Fan, who was in Ying Zhang's body, who broke the cup. He was cursing in front of a servant, saying that he was supposed to be the one that everyone would bow before. His reputation suddenly dropped so much, and he questioned what the inheritor of the demonic arts had to do with him. He told the servant to get lost and continue to find out more information, and the servant immediately agreed. Chu Fan was agitated as he questioned why he did not have a single memory of such a thing. He questioned if the Heavenly Emperor's Mountain really had something to do with the inheritor of demonic arts. He realized that it was the ultimate villain that everyone hates across all centuries. So even if he had the Heavenly Emperor's Mountain backing him, he could not get away scot-free. He cursed the heaven, questioning why it arranged for such a thing to happen when he was allowed to enjoy a life like that. He said that if he knew that the Heavenly Prince was going to be like that, he would have just continued feeding those horses, as that would have been a much easier life. Chu Fan was startled when Yin Yu suddenly appeared at the entrance, questioning him about what he said regarding feeding the horses. She asked him why he had been talking about such strange things recently, confirming with him if everything that was being said about him outside was true. Still unaware that she was no longer talking to Yin Zhang, Chu Fan thought that he could not back down at the moment, and he could not show fear, let alone admit to something like that. Chu Fan calmly sat on Ying Zhang's seat, and after a dramatic pause, he asked Ying Yu what her thoughts were. Ying Yu told him that she believed in him, but they could not just let rumors like that spread, so she suggested that the best way to handle the situation would be to stem the source of all the rumors. Since those rumors came from the Chengsheng Gu family, she asked him to let her meet with Master Gu. Ying Yu told Chu Fan that she would find out what happened to erase the suspicion on him, and with Master Gu's power, they would be able to turn things around. Chu Fan responded that if she was able to solve it, it would greatly relieve him. Chu Fan got mad at Master Gu and Wang Zijin for daring to say such things against him, causing such trouble for him. He said that he would remember them both, so they should just wait. On the other hand, at the Gu family's residence, the ships were leaving, and as Wang Zijin requested that Master Gu take care of himself as the enemies had noticed him too, Master Gu thanked Wang Zijin for the reminder. He also requested that she travel back safely. Meanwhile, Master Gu was telepathically ordering one of his men to go and keep track of where Wang Zijin goes, but he should not let them detect him, which the man confirmed. Master Gu thought that Yueminkan left in a hurry that morning, so he was guessing that she was rushing to find the reincarnation of humanity's ancestor. Those guys were not easy to deal with, and she might end up suffering quite a bit, so it looked like he would have to make some other arrangements. Yinmei arrived, and she told Master Gu that he was right. The Heavenly Emperor's mountain had sent people to her clan in order to find out Chu Fan's location. Master Gu smirked as he said that Chu Fan was trying to kill Ying Xiang, who was in his body, but sadly, he does not know that Ying Xiang has already been killed by him. He said that it was getting late, so he should go to the ancestral hall, and he instructed Yinmei to move according to their plan, which was to send a message to the Heavenly Prince, saying that after the Gu family's celebratory feast, Chu Fan suddenly turned insane. Master Gu smiled as he thought that, in that way, Chu Fan would finally understand that his greatest secrets were currently in his hands. A few moments later, at the Gu family's ancestral hall, someone announced Master Gu's arrival, and the audience commented that the pool of rebirth had finally opened. And naturally, both Master Gu and Gu Zioner were there as they were both the pride of their Gu family. Master Gu told Gu Zioner that only 5 people from the Gu family's descendants were able to come to the ancestral pool of rebirth and receive enlightenment about their ancestors' Tao, unlocking the hidden potential within their blood and receiving the ability to increase their cultivation. Before he could finish explaining, Gu Zioner told him that she knew, so he didn't have to tell her that. Master Gu fell silent, and he was annoyed by what Gu Zioner did. Suddenly, the doors started to open as someone announced that since everyone has arrived, they should enter the pool of rebirth. A bright light greets them as the door starts to open. Behind the door, there is a huge pool that is lavishly adorned. Everyone is in awe when they feel the strong aura, and they say that it is truly living up to the name of the pool of rebirth, while Master Gu is thinking that he heard that one could see the future while bathing in the pool of water, so he wonders if it is true or not. On the other hand, Gu Zioner is pumped up, as she thinks that if she manages to receive the enlightenment and increase her cultivation, she will finally be able to defeat Master Gu. Master Gu immediately tells her that it will never happen, which surprises Gu Zioner, and she asks him how he knew what she was thinking about. She asks him if he has a technique that allows him to read people's minds, and Master Gu tells her that her thoughts are so easy to interpret that he would not need a technique to even read her mind. Suddenly, one of the elders says that it is enough and tells them to stop wasting time and enter the pool. The cultivators do as the elder tells them, and as they enter the pool, they say that it is so comfortable. As Gu Zioner enters the pool, an aura starts to surge out of her, and she is surprised. One of the elders says that Gu Zioner is truly gifted, and he cannot believe that the pool has reacted immediately to her. While the other elder says that as for Master Gu, his talent is too strong, but there is no telling what will happen, so he wonders if there will be a reaction that time. Suddenly, Gu Linshan looms behind the elders, telling them that they may leave and ordering them not to disturb the young cultivators, and they reluctantly agree. Gu Linshan is looking intently into the pool. He is looking at Master Gu, who is emitting a huge amount of aura, and he thinks that he has no idea if the pool of rebirth will have any good or bad effects on him. But the fact that he has an inborn demonic heart must never be leaked. The door to the pool of rebirth was closed. Auras filled the pool as the young cultivators continued to submerge themselves in it and meditated. While Master Gu meditated, he thought that though the effects of the pool of rebirth were great, at most, it would only raise his current cultivation level to the level of a mid-rank sacred realm. He thought that it also triggered the demonic heart in his chest and thought it wouldn't affect him. It gave off a familiar feeling that was similar to when he wielded the 8-baron demonic halberd. His heart beat so fast, small amounts of demonic aura started to leak out of Master Gu as he recognized something while he meditated. He saw a huge 8-baron demonic halberd that was stabbed on the ground, and while dead bodies lay beneath it, someone was standing at the very top of its pole. Master Gu recognized the Demon Lord, and he remembered that the pool of rebirth was able to reflect on its users their past lives, and logically, he should have been a reincarnator in his past lives. Master Gu recognized that it looked like the reason for entering the pool of rebirth had been achieved, while for the benefits of awakening the demonic heart, he would have to slowly investigate in the future, and he was about to execute his next move. He looked at Gu Zioner, and he told her in his mind that she should not blame him for what was about to happen. Meanwhile, the other cultivators were peacefully cultivating by themselves. Suddenly, a strong surge of demonic aura surged in the area, and it awakened them from their meditation. One of them looked scared as she wondered what was going on. They immediately saw that the source of the demonic aura was Master Gu, and they asked him what he was trying to do. Master Gu just smiled sinisterly, so they wondered if something could have gone wrong amidst Master Gu's cultivation and if he fell into Kai deviation. The lady cultivator asked the others what they should do, while the other was shocked at the incredible aura pressure that Master Gu was exuding. So he said that he was afraid that even if they were not enough to stop him, which was why he suggested that they request help from the elders. But the other cultivator asked them what they were so afraid of when Master Gu had just gone into Kai deviation, so all they had to do was pummel him awake. He said that he was not there previously during the battle to be the next heir of the Gu family, and that's why Master Gu was able to become the heir of their clan. But he trailed off his sentence when he saw something surprising. Master Gu had already appeared in front of him and kicked him in the chest. He flew away, and he crashed into the door. The guy was immediately rendered unconscious, and foam was coming out of his mouth. The two other cultivators just froze in horror as they tried to reason with Master Gu, who appeared behind them and told them that he supposed that it was their turn. Master Gu grinned sinisterly as he emitted a huge amount of demonic aura. Both of them were unconscious when they landed on top of the stairs, and they both had a bump on their heads. As Master Gu continued to emit his demonic aura, Gu Changge suddenly appeared behind him and called his name in a questioning tone. He turned to look at her and smirked. As soon as Gu Changge saw him, she immediately recognized that it was his demonic nature. Gu Changge remembers that Master Gu looked exactly the same as when he dug out her Dao bone back in their younger days, so she wonders if it could be that before, the younger Master Gu was also controlled by that. Master Gu charged towards Gu Changge with his demonic aura and a menacing look on his face. Gu Changge groaned in pain as she got hit by the attack, and she was pushed back. Her back hit against the pool's wall. She managed to block Master Gu's attack with her arms, but they were terribly bruised, and as blood trickled out of the corners of her mouth, Gu Changge thought that Master Gu was really not giving her any leeway. As Master Gu continued to surround himself with a demonic aura, he talked about a Dao bone that was obtained through a second rebirth. Master Gu tells Gu Changge that choosing to let her live that year was really a poor choice since she ended up becoming a pain in the neck for him. But never would he have thought that she would end up giving him such a surprise, and he let her choose if she wanted to dig her Dao bone out on her own or if she would prefer him to do it instead. Gu Changge did not answer. Instead, she joined her palms together. She used her divine weapon, Tianluo umbrella, and it was spinning vigorously in front of her to protect her. But demonic chains pierced the Tianluo umbrella, and to Gu Changge's surprise, Master Gu managed to shatter her divine weapon into pieces effortlessly. Gu Changge realized that Master Gu was strong enough to instantly destroy a divine weapon, and while calling him a bastard in her mind, Gu Changge wondered how strong Master Gu's true strength had really gotten. Master Gu looked menacing as he told Gu Changge to stop struggling and just give her Dao bone to him, and he would let her die a little more peacefully. While Master Gu was laughing evilly in front of Gu Changge as he continued to release a tremendous amount of demonic aura, Gu Changge was secretly summoning something behind her, and she thought that although it was really difficult for her to continuously use two divine weapons at the same time, she really must use the secret weapon that her master gave her. Master Gu extended his hand to release a wave, and he told Gu Changge that she was just as stupid as she was before. Gu Changge was taken by surprise when she started to get sucked towards Master Gu. She groaned in pain as she reached Master Gu, who immediately grabbed her by the neck and asked her if she really thought that he would not know all the tricks that she had up her sleeve after such a long time. As Gu Changge was turning pale, she could feel that Master Gu was strong and cold and was leaving no room for retaliation, so she wondered if she was really going to die by Master Gu's hand. And she thought that it was no wonder that Master Gu kept telling her to cultivate well so that she could defeat him one day. Gu Changge thought that she could see it, that all those things that he had been doing to her were all to prepare her for that day so that when he was taken over by his demonic nature, at the very least, she would be able to survive. And as she was losing her consciousness, she was thinking that sadly, she still was not able to. Master Gu informed Gu Changge that he was going to take that new Dao bone of hers. Using her remaining strength, Gu Changge informed Master Gu that if he really liked it, he should just take it. Master Gu was taken aback. He seized his own arm and instructed someone to leave his head. Gu Changge was surprised when Master Gu was pushed away from her. Worry filled her eyes as she inquired with Master Gu about what was wrong with him. It appeared that Master Gu struggled and fought with himself, and he instructed Gu Changge not to come near him. With an excellent performance, Master Gu acted as if he retrieved half of his body from his demonic nature, and he told it not to dare hurt Gu Changge. Tears welled up in Gu Change's worry-filled eyes as she referred to Master Gu as her brother. Gu Changge watched as Master Gu's demonic aura swirled around him. Gu Changge tried to approach Master Gu, and as she asked him what was happening, she told him that he needed to wake up. but Master Gu told her to stop right where she was. Gu Zioner was speechless, and helplessness filled her eyes as she looked at Master Gu. On the other hand, Master Gu told Gu Zioner over and over not to come near him. Tears started to fall down her face as Gu Zioner asked Master Gu what she was supposed to do and how she could help him. Master Gu just told her to get lost because he doesn't need her help, so she should just get away from him. But Gu Zioner told him that she was not going anywhere as she could help him, and she reminded him that he wanted her new Dao bone that has been rebirthed as it would definitely be useful to him. Gu Zioner told Master Gu that she would rip her Dao bone out for him immediately. Master Gu told Gu Zioner again to get lost, and as he asked her if she heard him, he told her that she was just a useless piece of trash and she should get out of his sight as he didn't need a piece of trash's Dao bone. Gu Zioner called Master Gu an arrogant bastard, and as she told him to stop deceiving himself, she asked him why he was still trying to make things worse for himself even though things were so bad like that due to his pride. Master Gu started to let go of his own arm, and he called Gu Zioner a dumb brat. He acted like his demonic nature had regained control of half of his body, and he told Gu Zioner that since she really wished to die, he would help her. Master Gu immediately charged towards Gu Zioner at full speed while she was just frozen in place, unable to react. Gu Zioner's eyes widened in surprise when Master Gu's hand stopped right in front of her. She looked horrified as she saw Master Gu stabbing swords into his own arms as he reminded his demonic nature that he had already told it that it was not allowed to touch Gu Zioner. The one side of Master Gu's eyes was back to normal, but it looked weary as he asked Gu Zioner why she was crying, and he told her that she looked terrible crying like that. Gu Zioner was really sobbing her heart out. Suddenly, Master Gu's demonic nature tried to regain control over Master Gu's whole body. Master Gu immediately took a step back, and he called his demonic nature a bastard. He told his demonic nature that since it wanted to hurt Gu Zioner so much, he would do something about it, and he gestured his hand to use a technique. Gu Zioner tried to stop Master Gu, but Master Gu was already enclosed in a ball of water while his aura exploded in all directions, and Gu Zioner groaned in pain as she got thrown backward by it. Suddenly, someone opened the door to the pool of rebirth, and they said that it was bad. It was Gu Linshin, and he immediately went to catch Gu Zioner, asking her if she was alright. Gu Zioner immediately told him that she was fine and that he should quickly look at Master Gu because he completely crippled his arm because he refused to harm her. Gu Linshin looked at Master Gu, and he sighed as he told Gu Zioner not to worry because that was nothing but a small injury for someone of his cultivation level, so as long as she was safe, everything was fine. Master Gu sat in the pool, unconscious, while his arm still scorched. Gu Linshin sighed as Gu Zioner went to hug Master Gu, and she sobbed as she told Gu Linshin that Master Gu seemed to know a long time ago that he would not be able to suppress his demonic nature. That's why he kept forcing her to cultivate so that she could protect herself in the event that his demonic nature started wanting to take her Dao bone for itself. She said that Master Gu was clearly such a warm-hearted and wonderful person, yet he has to put on an act of being cold and callous to others to mask himself. Master Gu seemed like he was just pretending to be unconscious when he was in Gu Zioner's arms, while Gu Zioner vowed that she would definitely help him resolve that problem of his. Even if it was difficult to do so, she would never give up on her brother. The system notified Master Gu that he received a large amount of Gu Zioner's favor and affection, so his fate value increased by 9,800. A few days later, Master Gu walked with Gu Linshin, and he asked him how the pool of rebirth had affected him that time around. Instead of giving him a reason, Master Gu told him that he was fine and that it was his fault for letting down his guard and making him worry. Gu Linshin told him that his demonic heart problem posed a great hidden risk for him, so it was hard on him all those years. Master Gu told him that there was no need to worry as he finally managed to suppress his demonic heart, so there won't be any issues from onwards. Gu Linshin said that it was great, but it seemed that the clothes he was wearing fit him well, as they were bought using quite a large amount of Gu Zioner's savings. Calling Gu Zioner a stingy little brat, Master Gu said that it was rare for her to do something like that. Gu Linshin told him that he did not want to see Gu Zioner while he was recuperating. Since he had fully recovered, he should find a time and explain things to her. Master Gu told Gu Linshin not to worry, as he has his own plans. In the back of his mind, he was thinking that, after all, when one is putting on an act, they should follow through completely.